One sentence, one label, and all of a sudden, India was dragged into America's furious visa war. This wasn't a quiet policy debate in Washington. This was loud, it was sharp, it was politically explosive. You're watching TimesXP. My name is Rityatri, and US Vice President JD Vance, he stepped forward and he drew a hard line. Not around borders, not around walls, but around jobs. That's right. And you know what the target was? The H-1B visa system, a program long used by American companies to hire skilled foreign workers, specifically from India. Be it engineers, be it doctors, tech experts, teachers, every single important profession here. Vance, he didn't mince his words. He accused the big corporation of doing something deeply wrong. Pushing aside American workforce, chasing lower wages, importing labor from poorer countries. That's right. He said that they are doing all of this to cut costs. Now that particular phrase, that triggered outrage. Vance framed the issue as companies replacing Americans with cheap laborers from developing nations. Though he didn't name India directly, but the world knew that who was he talking about, because Indians dominate the H-1B visa. 70% of that particular visa category go to Indians, more than any other nationality. And that's why the reaction was instant. But you know why now? Because the Trump administration is tightening the screws here. Harder visa rules, fewer approvals, and more scrutiny here. And Vance is backing it, and that too fully. In fact, when asked about why Congress wasn't consulted, Vance had a blunt answer that there was no time. According to him, American jobs were bleeding. According to him, corporations were gaming the system. In fact, immediate action, it was needed. Process could wait, protection couldn't. This is America First reboot, by the way. Not just about borders, but about boardrooms. Vance's message was clear. If a job can be done by an American, it should be done by an American. But nobody questions Vance. What if it is not done by an American? What if a high-profile techie? Well, America does not have that much talent. What if an Indian is required to be the CEO of Google? What if an Indian is required to be the CEO of Microsoft? But critics say that this argument hides a bigger truth. Because the US has a labor problem, and that too a big one. Hospitals are short of doctors, schools lack teachers, tech companies can't find enough engineers. And H-1B workers, they often fill that gap. Americans, they aren't lining up for. So, you know what this is really about? Supporters say that stop outsourcing jobs without leaving the country, force companies to invest in US workers, end wage undercutting. Opponents say that this paints skilled immigrants as a threat. It fuels resentment, it ignores economic reality. Now, for Indians who are watching from abroad, the message felt personal, because when leaders talk about cheap labor, they hear something else. Your skills are welcome, but you are not. Now, this debate is no longer technical. It is emotional, it is cultural, it is political. The H-1B visa is no longer just a work permit. It is a symbol of globalization, of identity, of who gets to belong. And JD Vance just made it clear where he stands. America first, corporations second, foreign workers last.